Hey everyone, my name is Ginger for those of you who don't know me. I am setting up this GoFundMe on behalf of my best friend. Her name is Ashley Balon. She is right here. I have a lovely picture of her. Ta-da! It's her and me. It's a little glare. There we go. There she is. That's my friend Ashley. So a little bit about Ashley, just briefly. I'm going to get into a much larger story in a second. She's just a very ambitious, caring, super passionate, very determined person, which is part of why I am making this video. But a little bit about kind of her history and how she and I met. Ashley was raised by a single mother in the Alpena, Michigan area, for anybody who knows Michigan. Her family never really had that much money. College, even high school graduation, really wasn't an expectation in their family. Though she had an older brother, she had two younger siblings. She was the first person, including her mother, to graduate from high school. So if that gives you any idea of the kind of the situation she was in. But I met Ashley in high school. We were both in cheerleading. I was on the varsity team. She was on the junior varsity team. And in our junior year of high school, we were both in a musical, Anything Goes, if anyone knows that musical. But we were in Anything Goes together. We were kind of both in the ensemble, so that meant we were in a lot of the same scenes together, just as the kind of the overall cast. But we ended up getting to know each other pretty well through that experience, and at the same time we had cheerleading tryouts going on. She and I ended up, when we had downtime during the musical, we would practice for cheerleading tryouts, and she ended up making the varsity team that year so that we were on the same team together. And once that happened, we became super great friends, kind of attached at the hip as much as we could be in high school. And then we even went to prom together with our dates, of course. We had made some grand plans to try to hand make a dress for her that never came to fruition, but so be it. We're high school kids. What are you going to do? So after high school, we kind of lost touch for a couple of years. Our cell phone numbers were changing. Ashley had moved out of state for a period of time, so on and so forth. But she was always the one person outside of my own family that I ever wanted to see when I came back to Alpena. So while I was kind of off at school, Ashley she attended community college in Alpena for a year or so. But then she took a break to move in with her brother out of state to sort of help out with taking care of their kids. His wife or girlfriend was dealing with cancer, and he was deployed at the time. And Ashley, if you're seeing this, feel free to correct me on any details I may be getting wrong. But when then years later, I started PT school, physical therapy school. I asked her to move downstate with me, move in with me, hoping that she'd be able to stay there for at least 3 years to try to help me pay for rent while I finished school. While she was living with me, she started attending Mott Community College. And then U of M Flint. She finally kind of got back into school after a number of years off of school. While she was then living with me, she had really committed to finishing school and finally becoming a teacher. That's what she wants to do, is become a teacher. On the day of my graduation from PT school, Ashley found out that her brother had passed away. She tried to get back into the rhythm of things with school, that following semester that she was already registered for, but it just wasn't working out. She wasn't emotionally and mentally ready to kind of jump back into school at that point. So she took a little more time off. She made one more attempt a year or two later to sort of start again, and really just wasn't mentally ready. Finally, this last year, she was able to start back into school. She's been working her butt off to try to get her GPA up. After those couple of rough semesters, when her brother passed away, she's been doing super, super well over the last year. The finish line is finally in sight for her. She's only got about 1 more year to go. But unfortunately, She registered for her classes, found out what was going on with her financial aid, and she found out that she no longer qualifies for any federal financial aid. She has a few grants and scholarships to cover part of her tuition, but that's pretty much it. She still has a substantial amount of her tuition that needs to be paid. And she's really not sure if she'll be able to get a private loan just because of the situation that she's in. So she just had to give up her job as a parapro. She was a parapro in the Cairo, Michigan area, and had to give up her job because she didn't think that she would be able to manage going to school and working at the same time, going to school full time and trying to work at the same time. But she is so close to finishing. And if she really isn't able to pay for the semester of school, she's going to have to take time off again to try to raise money herself, which could take months, if not years, to try to raise that money to finish school. So this semester, Ashley needs just $3,500 to be able to cover the rest of her tuition. Sorry, there's a cat making noise behind me, if you can hear that. I am just asking anyone who is watching this video to please contribute to her cause. Even $5 can make a difference. I would really hate to see her derailed yet again from her dreams of becoming a teacher after all the hard work she has put in and years and years and years of struggle. She really deserves it after years of hardship, and I just hope that you would contribute. Thanks.